you got two living legends in there in Kenenisa Bekele and Mo Farah. You have some established veterans, such as defending champion Amos Kipruto. And then you have some upstarts, some folks who have gotten off to a wonderful start in their career, and you want to see what they can do next. I'm talking, of course, foremost about Kelvin Kiptum, who in his debut, Kiptum, Gordon, he ran 201.53, 201.53 in his debut. So this is going to be an exciting race, top to bottom. Of course, Bekele and Farah are going to get a lot of the headlines going into it, but most people believe the race is probably going to come down to some of the guys' names that you saw on the screen there: Kiptum, Legesse, Garamu, Kiprat, Tola, Atanwa, etc., etc.
What do you think is the storyline behind this? Obviously, whenever a Kipchoge's in a race, the storyline is he's going to win, and if he's on a fast course, it's going to be, can he break the world record? You have someone who made a debut that was inching close to a world record. You have someone in Bekele who also was close to a world record, but he's kind of on the last part of his career. What is like the nugget for this race? Is it just, can Bekele get a win? Is it, could Kiptum and Bekele flirt with the world record? Is it all just around Mo Farah's swan song of a race? Like, what do you think is the number one carrot for this men's field?
Well, I think it breaks down into separate parts. I'm going to put Bekele in a different category, and I'm going to put Farah in a different category. I think they're in a different spot. Farah said it's his final marathon, likely not his final race, but this is going to be it for him in terms of the marathon. And I think it's more about just going out there, putting together a solid effort. You know, he's still training at a high level. He's training in Ethiopia. He's going to be solid. I expect him to be well under 210. Just don't think he's going to be in the mix for the win. I think the same thing with Bekele. If either of those guys are, that's the huge story. That's going to overtake everything. But
you don't think Bekele's going to be in the mix?
I don't think Bekele's going to be in the mix. No. I think it's going to be about the other names on that list. Kiptum, can he do it again? You know, he did it in Valencia, 201.53. There's not a lot of people who have run 201 before. So we want to see him now in his second marathon. He says he's very cautious about his approach. When I watched the press conference, he was talking more like, oh yeah, I'm not going after the world record yet. I just need to see how I do on the second one. We know Valencia is very fast. London's fast too. So I'm looking at that. And I'm also looking at Amos Kipruto. He was the London champ last year when it was in the fall. In the spring, he was second in Tokyo to Kipchoge. And then you go back to 2021, DNF'd at the Olympics. 2020, had an 18th place in Tokyo, a 4th place in Valencia. But his last two have been really good. So can he move into that next tier as well, too? We saw Evans Chebet in Boston. He's won 3 marathons in a row. He's won 7 of 8 overall. Everybody's saying, well, he's the best challenger to Kipchoge because he's beat him. But if Kipruto could go back-to-back in London, combined with the second place in Tokyo, he starts to string together some consistency as well, too. So is it going to be him, or is it going to be someone that we've seen before, someone like a Tola, someone like a Legesse, go up there and get it? But I think it's going to come down to Kipruto and Kiptum. I think Kiptum has the highest upside. So you want to watch for him to see if he has an improvement off of Valencia, even if it's not an improvement based on time, because those courses aren't equal. Valencia, I think everybody agrees, is a little faster. But if he improves just in how he finishes relative to the rest of the field, this is obviously a better field than he faced in Valencia, then you got to say, look out. Like, this is a race about who else could potentially get into that top tier, that post-Kipchoge tier, which Chebet is firmly in after his Boston win.
Over under 62 for the opening half marathon.
I think under. I think they're going to get after it. Yeah, I think under. I think this will be one of those
61.
I'll go slightly over.
Okay, so you like 61, 20 to 40.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it went even faster. It's gone out really fast in the past. I guess it also depends on weather, but yeah, man, this could be a situation where the list of people who we want to see go against Kipchoge, because now that he's been beaten again, it looks a lot more possible. It could start to grow. And if Kiptum strings 2 together, if Kipruto strings together another win, then we're getting in the range of, oh man, all right, well, is it possible to get all 3 or 4 of these guys on the same field? Also, talk about Olympics next year. That Kenyan team is pretty hard to make because we already have Chebet there. Kipruto wins this one. Kiptum's right there. Like, how are they going to select the 3 that go to Paris? You got to get in. You got to get, and that's not even counting, Benson Kipruto as well too.